long time ago, a strange thing happened in the palace of King Gaoxin. One day, a noise suddenly came from the queen's right ear, which made her ear itchy and uncomfortable. She kept digging her ear with her fingertips and hurriedly called her daughter, "Come and check what's in my ear." While saying that, a small golden object suddenly fell out of the queen's ear, and it happened to fall into a gourd scoop on the table. "It's a golden cocoon," the princess said in surprise, widening her beautiful black eyes. So, the princess carefully took away the gourd scoop and put a plate on it. Every day, she couldn't wait to open the plate to see if the golden cocoon had grown up. One day, the princess lifted the plate, and an amazing thing happened. The cocoon in the gourd scoop turned into a dragon dog. He had colorful fur, and it shone when it landed. Such a beautiful and unusual dog was lovely to everyone. Because he was transformed from a gourd scoop, people called him the Gourd dog or Panhu, which means plate and gourd in Mandarin. The princess loved the gourd dog so much. When she ate, Panhu also ate. When the princess slept, Panhu sided under the bed to guard her. Since then, the gourd dog had become the princess' inseparable playmate. 3 years later, the gourd dog had grown into a hound, from the size of a gourd to the size of a leopard. Even King Gaoxin liked to take him to hunt in the mountains. The gourd dog was not only alert but also very agile. Whether birds were shot by arrows or running rabbits, all can't escape from his sharp eyes. If the gourd dog encounters a ferocious beast, he will rush to fight, not afraid at all. Every time, King Gaoxin patted its head dotingly and praised, "The gourd dog is my best helper." But at this moment, the neighboring country in the northwest suddenly rebelled. On this day, 5 generals came to report to King Gaoxin in a panic. "The demon king of the neighboring country is so terrifying. He has 4 powerful red eyes on his face." When our soldiers saw him, they were all frightened. No one dared to go forward to fight with the enemy. King Gaoxin sighed, put his hands behind his back, walked around, thought, and finally said, "I give my promise, if anyone can kill the 4-eyed demon king and take his head here, the princess will marry him." On the day when the king issued that order, the gourd dog disappeared, and people couldn't find it anywhere. King Gaoxin felt strange, but the saddest was the princess. She looked at the gourd scoop every day and prayed that her playmate could come back again. Where was the gourd dog? It turned out that after listening to King Gaoxin's words, the gourd dog immediately ran towards the neighboring country in the northwest. On the way, he encountered a big river. He transformed into a dragon and flew over the river. In this way, he reached the neighboring country and walked into the tent of the 4-eyed demon king. When Panhu saw the demon king, he stepped forward and kissed the demon king's hand warmly, wagging his tail smartly. "Isn't this Gaoxin's dog?" The 4-eyed demon king bulged. "Ha ha. Gaoxin is about to perish, even his dog betrayed him and came to join me. It seems that I'm going to dominate the world." To celebrate this good omen, the demon king held a feast and treated all his soldiers. The demon king was drinking a lot and unconsciously fell into a daze. Seeing those 4 eyes could not open one after another, the gourd dog took the opportunity to pounce on the demon king, bit his head off, turned around and ran, leaping for thousands of miles, and finally returned to King Gaoxin's palace. The lost gourd dog is finally back. King Gaoxin was very happy. The gourd dog still held the demon king's head in his mouth, which made King Gaoxin put down the heavy stone on his mind, and he no longer had to worry about the demon king's rebellion. People all over the country were beating gongs and drums to celebrate. But the gourd dog seemed to have something on his mind. Since he came back, no matter what the delicious food was in front of him, he didn't even smell or taste it. He just kept quiet, sitting by the princess' side. "What's going on here? Gourd dog. Why don't you eat, and why don't you come when I call you?" Suddenly, King Gaoxin remembered what he promised before. He frowned and said to Panhu, "You want to marry my daughter?" Alas! It's not that I didn't keep my promise, but how can a dog and a human get married? At this time, the gourd dog suddenly raised his head and spoke in human language. "Your Majesty, don't worry, I can become a man to marry the princess. Just put me in a big golden bell for 7 days and 7 nights, and I will become a man, but during these 7 days, the golden bell must never be opened." What to do about this? The king discussed with his strategists, and all of them said, "Panhu is a beast, so even if it has a contribution, it cannot be given money, cannot be awarded an official position, and cannot marry a princess." When the princess heard the news, she hurried over to her father and said, "Your Majesty, you have promised that anyone who killed the demon king has the right to marry me." Panhu came here with his head and wiped out the enemy of the country, which is beyond the ability of a dog but the will of God. The king attaches great importance to promises and credibility, and if the king cannot live up to his promises to his people just because he wants to protect his daughter, that will be the scourge of the country. After hearing this, King Gaoxin finally agreed to use a big golden bell to cover the gourd dog, to see what will happen. Day and night, day by day, there was no sound or movement in the golden bell. The princess was so nervous and curious. She murmured to herself, "What will the gourd dog look like? There is no sound in the golden bell. Will he starve to death inside?" On the night of the 6th day, she finally couldn't help it, and secretly lifted the golden bell. The spell was broken, and the princess saw Pan, who has become a human. But just because there was a night away, his head was still a dog's head and could never be changed anymore. The princess regretted that she had hurt the gourd dog because she couldn't help her curiosity, so she still decided to marry the gourd dog. She personally made a colorful dog head hat and put it on her head and held a joyous wedding in the palace. Later, the gourd dog carried the princess and went to the remote southwest, where they lived in seclusion in the deep mountains. The two lived a very happy life. The gourd dog went out hunting every day, and the king's daughter wove and dyed the tree bark into beautiful colorful clothes at home for the children to wear. They lived like this from generation to generation, and later people all said that they were the ancestors of ethnic minorities like the Miao or Shi tribe in southwest China. This is the story of Panhu. Do you like it? If you like this story or want to know more about Asian culture, please don't forget to subscribe for more new stories. I will update weekly. See you soon.